you can always work harder. You can always work harder, you can always read more, you can always make more calls, you can always think harder. I remember my reports from school said if Joanna just stopped going to parties, she'd, be able to sustain a grade A instead of having flashes of A's. I wish somebody had just said, double down and work a little harder. But first of all, do your research around what you think you should get paid and make sure that you're asking for something in the vicinity that's realistic. And then be prepared for someone to say no. As someone who sits on the other side of the negotiating desk most of the time, I don't always want to give people more money, and sometimes I don't have more money to give people. If you think it's no and it's going to be no for the next 2 years, then maybe it's time to move. Or ask to negotiate for something else. Maybe you can get a day at home every other week and that will be valuable to you. Or you can, negotiate for another week of holiday. Don't always think of negotiations in terms of money, and, be prepared to accept no and then come back in 3 months or 6 months. Are you in a company that's going to support you? Do they like you? Are you being realistic? If you look around in your peer group, are you the best, or are there 3 people that frankly should get promoted above you? And be honest, because if you're actually in a situation where frankly you're outnumbered and outranked by people who are more talented, then move somewhere where you're going to have more opportunity. I am constantly struck by how frightened people are of changing companies. I was fairly consistent in moving companies when I felt I was blocked. And I had one situation when I was working at a magazine where it was very clear I had come to the end of my runway there. And it wasn't necessarily anybody's fault, but I wasn't going to get promoted anytime soon, and so I left. And the job I left led to me becoming the editor-in-chief of Marie Claire. I could literally still be in that job 15 years on had I stayed.